Are you a lifelong fan of General Hospital?
Are you a new fan who wants to know more about the history of the show?
Do you enjoy talking about the show with others?
Do you find yourself yelling at the TV?
Is your self-care an hour a day in Port Charles?
If so, we invite you to join hosts
Amanda Kimmel
and Shannon Coach at the place where all the hidden conversations take place and secrets are revealed.
Meet us at Pier 54,
a General Hospital fan podcast.
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to the General Hospital recap for December 8th through 12th. So for the Port Charles pipeline, we only had one little note from Louise. Hola, my lovelies.
Aw.
Aw. We like when you guys get all cutesy with us. Thank you.
Right?
Hope all is well. This is just a quickie on the photos of Laura and Sunny at the car. I had the same knee-jerk reaction of, how did he do that? Then I thought, possibly a drone? Anyone else think that? I'm curious. And now you're talking about the gun. It was her DNA, not her fingerprints that were on the gun.
Ah, okay.
Okay, I am not from the South, and I don't know why this phrase just jumped in my head when I read this next line, and I don't mean it as the sarcastic way that I know that it gets perceived as, but bless your heart on this next one. Sorry to sound curt. Honey, you didn't.
No.
And now you're a honey. I'm sorry. But I wanted to get this out before jumping back into work. Well, good. Now I'm curious what kind of work we were keeping her from with that thought. I hope it was not like anything medical.
Just pause the surgery for a second. I have to shoot a quick email over to my friend.
Could you imagine if someone was listening to our podcast as they were operating and they're like, wait, what are you talking about? If you guys could let us know. Oh my gosh, that would be so funny.
That would be funny. What were you pausing to shoot us an email?
So I have certain routines with certain podcasts that if I know I'm doing a bulk cooking day or a meal prep day or something, I will save certain series so I can listen to 3 or 4 at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Tuesday night at 9:00 is our most listened to time, which I find interesting because it's after the first 2 episodes of the week, the new week. So it's what are people listening to? Because we do release the 2 episodes a week, so it doesn't break down to that. But it's just our quote peak time is Tuesdays at 9, which I thought was really interesting. So what's everyone doing at Tuesday at 9? What are you guys doing?
I feel like that makes sense because Monday you're still starting the week, finishing up whatever you didn't get done on the weekend, and whatever activities your kid has, your spouse has, whatever. So you're probably not watching GH on Monday, and Tuesday is still just kind of blah. So listen to the podcast, get all caught up, and then start watching Wednesday, and then you can binge Friday because you don't have anything to do. It's Friday.
Who wants to guess what Amanda's routine is?
Right? Exactly. At least that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, I just figure they spent the weekend getting caught up on GH. That's why we chose Mondays. And on the way to work on Mondays is when they're listening to our show. And then they're like, man, I can't wait to watch GH tonight.
Yeah.
I know. I just thought that stat was just so funny.
But that is.
No, that was so not curt. I really appreciate you. I feel bad that you feel that way. And I really don't mean the bless your heart because that's typically seen as a not derogatory, but a condescending.
Right.
But it was literally oh,
yes.
Top for now. Thank you for that. Yes. Didn't we talk about a drone?
We might have mentioned a drone, but Laura did say this week the long lens camera. Where were they hiding in the bushes?
Right, along every single no, it was a drone, but also maybe she just doesn't really know about drones.
Right.
So that was it for notes from the fans. Yeah, we really have to get scheduled on these fan spotlights. We'll try to schedule these this week.
Okay.
So if you guys watch on Hulu, when you click on General Hospital, it pops up with the green frame. And for the longest time, it was Anna. Well, it was Carly and then Anna and then Laura. This week, they switched it to Drew.
Mm.
Granted, it is a gorgeous photo of scene of Cameron Matheson. So I'm not complaining about the visual aspect of it. But right now, that is... when we see Anna and Laura, you're oh, nostalgia. Right now, it's, dude, I want you dead.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. Madeline was just asking me something.
Yeah. She's who's Shannon trying to kill?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, poor Cameron Matheson, but I feel like we're all going to feel that way for a very long time. He's a very attractive man, but every time I look at him, I'm like, man, I hate you. And so
Yeah.
making him as the cover photo is just like a while. Like,
Yeah.
it's going to be that way for a while.
And then the other day, JD comes out of nowhere and he's like, what does Cyrus's name begin with? I was like, what? He's like, how do you spell Cyrus? I was like, Cyrus. And he's like, could he be C?
Is he secretly listening to us?
But like, wait a second here. I'm like, well, because he knows the Faison theories with
Yes,
the whole
yes.
that I think that he's alive because of the sea and everything. And I said, so, and I want to give him credit because he was in the room when Cyrus came on screen last week, and I was like, oh, he's not dead, but he had already left when.
Oh,
Right. So I never went back to tell him, by the way, because I didn't think he was really that invested in this.
yeah,
But when he said that, I was like, but he's dead. And he's like, no, he was just on. I was like, oh yeah, that was a dream.
yeah.
And he was like, well, darn it. I'm like, you know what, though? I'm going to give you so much credit on that because out of nowhere, you're thinking about it.
Right?
And
Bonus
I'm like, why
points
do you
for the
want it to be someone
husband.
else? You should want it to be,
He really should. He can't be
yes,
changing loyalties now. He has to
no,
stick with Faison.
yes. But yeah, that's really it for the Port Charles pipeline. Did you see anything?
I saw Stone Cold and the Jackal posted it that Chloe Lanier is going to be in the Mary Jo Buttafuoco movie coming out on Lifetime in January, which
Hold
is
it.
a
We're doing
Lifetime.
another Mary Jo Buttafuoco movie?
I guess this is from Mary Jo's perspective,
Oh,
not from Amy Fisher perspective. There were two Lifetime Amy Fisher movies.
yes, there
My
was.
my sister and I may have been obsessed with this for a while. There were two, but they were more from Amy Fisher's standpoint of telling the story. This is from the wife, Mary Jo Buttafuoco's.
Because she did do a documentary. Oh, what was it? I watched too many of these things.
It says set
Was
to
it the Long
premiere.
Island Scandal? I can't remember. Sorry, go ahead.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know which show you're
There's been too
referring
many.
to because I mean she was the Long Island Lolita, so
Lolita.
I don't know what other show. I just remember the two Lifetime movies and being like mad that they did two of them. But it says set to premiere on January 17th, 2026 at 8 p.m. The latest installment of the network's I Am franchise reveals why the Buttafuocos remained married for 7 years after the shooting, the lasting physical and emotional impact of the bullet that remains lodged in her head, and how she has found resilience and peace amid unimaginable trauma. So
Okay.
I was just very excited. I like took a screenshot. I sent it to my sister. I was like, I know you don't care who this actress is, but I'm excited for this, and we're gonna have to watch this movie.
But
So,
also, you should be excited because Chloe Lanier is so good.
right? She's so good.
Okay. It was Amy Fisher Kill for Me, and it was on Peacock.
Oh, okay.
And it says it covers the case featuring interviews and revisiting the incident from various perspectives, including the impact on Mary Jo. So I
Okay.
think that might be the one that I'm thinking of because I'm like, I know that there was one recently that like she actually
Mm-hmm.
was a part of.
I'm excited for it.
Wow. So who's playing Amy?
I have no idea.
Interesting. Okay. You know, we still haven't watched Ava LaRusse.
I know. We need to do that.
We need to do that. We do need to do that.
Maybe we can do that and review it after we get done with Bobby, because we'll have, if we don't have any spotlights done by then.
Merry Christmas. We're going to review one of our favorite actresses being stalked.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, what else would you do?
Right?
That works. Because this week we're doing Bobby part 15, and I know that you're not quite finished with it yet, but you think we're going to be done? You think it's going to be 2017 to passing?
I
You don't
really
think it's going to take an entire episode for us to talk about her funeral?
no,
Okay. Oh,
I don't. But, I mean, we can make it that if you want to, but I feel like we talked about it when it happened, and there's really not that much more to review. So, but we'll see.
yeah, but some people might not have been listening to us.
True.
I don't really want to relive it,
I was
so I'm
gonna
good.
say you could just like take that segment out of that week's recap.
I was
and
literally just
push
thinking
it.
that. I'm like, you know what? We could probably add
Add it to the end.
that
Here
little
you go.
section, like as a bonus feature of, and
Right.
here's how we talked about it. And yes, Shannon could not talk.
Yep.
Okay. So I guess the Hulu headlines to get us started. On Monday, Carly takes a big risk. Alexis receives a warning. Lulu is alarmed. Marco romances Lucas. And Brennan briefs Jocelyn. I am not liking this side of Marco that we're seeing.
No.
Loving the romance, but he is turning shady.
Yep.
On Tuesday, Jason watches over Britt. Lulu is livid. Sunny and Laura compare notes. Charlotte is relieved, and Justine details her plan. Wednesday, Nathan makes an arrest. Alexis puts Willow to the test. Sidwell makes an offer. Portia panics, and Michael asks Christina for help. On Thursday, Michael and Jacinda grow closer. I feel like they're going to quickly become my favorite couple.
Yes.
Willow gets her hopes up. Nina gets an eyeful. Drew gets a shocking offer. And Molly shares a secret. Then on Friday, Britt is moved. Jason is frustrated. Chase stands his ground. Dante and Nathan make a discovery, and Brooklyn is torn. I don't really feel like Brooklyn's torn. I think Brooklyn is very much in her convictions and
Yes.
is correct.
Absolutely.
We don't have to start right there, though, unless we somehow want. No, that's a buildup.
Yeah, I feel like we should start with Carly because that was pretty much like just Monday, Tuesday. It was very contained. So we had seen on Friday that Valentin showed up at her house, and Monday she realizes it's him and, just try to how'd you get here? What happened? All that kind of stuff. And he explains everything. And she's like, yeah, you cannot stay here because I have a small child that goes back and forth between her dad's house and my house. And like
The
you already
alleged
know,
mobster's house.
right. And like you already know, my other daughter works for the WSB. So I'm not sure what you want to do. And he insists that he needs to stay there. She lets him sleep in the shed the first night. And then the next night he insists that he is going to sleep somewhere in the house, so she offers up the attic. And we see Joss talk to Brennan, and so she goes to stay at Carly's because she only trusts herself to protect Carly in case Valentin would be coming after Carly in a malicious way because he knows that Valentin and her that Brennan and her are together. And then really all that happened was Valentin telling Carly, I need you to go drop a key at Lulu's house because apparently him and Charlotte had a way of communicating. If it was a key with a red ribbon, then that meant I'm coming for you. If it was a key with a blue ribbon, then it meant just stay put, but I am fine. And so we see Carly go over to Lulu's pretending like she's there to check up on Lulu. And instead she drops the key. But I was back to I can't stand Lulu this week because she freaked out and she's yelling at Charlotte, promise me that if your dad comes for you, you're not going to leave with him. What teenager is going to promise that? The life that she had with Valentin. She enjoyed being on the run with him and he always kept her safe. You really think she is going to, Charlotte said it. I can tell you what you want to hear, or I can tell you the truth, but I'm not sure which one you want me to do. And then Lulu was like, okay, tell me the truth, but you can't even walk out on the porch without me freaking out. It was ridiculous.
She could have handled it so much better. She's getting so, and I understand why she is frantic. However, you're not supposed to show your kids that.
Right.
And especially when you know that this is such an emotional thing that, of course, Charlotte's going to want to go with her dad. Sit down with her and just basically say, listen, hold it. I wrote it down. So your dad was on an international transfer by private jet with 2 guards and a pilot, and at some point mid-flight managed to free himself from his bonds, get hands on a parachute, and make a jump and landed somewhere in the vicinity of Port Charles. I mean, that man is talented. But, sitting down and just saying, you already know that Brennan is watching you. And we saw Brennan freaking out. I want 24 hours on that girl. So she also should have just said, you also know your dad is not dumb enough.
Right.
Because he knows that they are watching you. And so I just want you to know, he has escaped. There is a possibility he could come here. I really don't think he's going to because,
right.
And she's like, and just remember your dad. And I did give her credit on this one when Charlotte was like, I've been on the run with him before, all that. And she's like, yeah. And even your dad recognized it was starting to be too much and you needed to be here. So just
Yep.
remember like that. But I was actually kind of impressed that he gave Carly the entire code, not just, can you give this blue ribbon because it'll mean that I am not coming to get her and I'm safe. Because he didn't have to tell her about a red ribbon, because for all we know, they
True.
have every color of the rainbow.
Right.
But
I think he knows he could trust Carly. I mean, she was motivated enough to come visit him and make up a whole new personality or a whole new identity to show up at the prison because she's so angry with Brennan. I think he knows that they are best friends
well,
now in the fact.
he originally wanted her to go get Anna. But then she had to
Yes.
tell him, well, so she's on a secret mission from the WSB. And he's like, well, that's disappointing.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to stay in her attic until he can talk to Anna.
Yep.
But Charlotte and Valentin use the I love you sign language symbol and shine it up and hold their hands up to the sky so that they can tell each other they love each other. It reminded me of American Tail when Fievel's singing Somewhere Out There.
Such a good movie.
It is such a good movie. I didn't even cry when I was
Oh my God, that's funny.
all I can think of is James Patrick Stewart can sing now. And I need to hear him singing Somewhere Out There. Oh my gosh, if I could hear James Patrick Stewart and Linda Ronstadt sing together. But Linda Ronstadt, she can't sing anymore. So, okay, anyway.
Oh man.
So which one's Fievel, though? It'd actually be him.
Mm-hmm.
Aw.
Oh man, it's a good thing that we also know that our majority demographic is people our age and older because
That they'll understand that.
the young kids are like, what are they talking about? I've never heard of this movie in my life.
If you guys don't know the cartoon American Tail, go watch it. You're going to cry. You're going to laugh.
And it's got a nice soundtrack.
Yes. Oh, but I did think it was funny that he thought that that Carly's place was going to be the last place anyone would look for him. And he knows how to clean up blood, so it's okay.
Yes.
But, and that's when Joss came over, because Joss came over to tell Carly that Valentin escaped. And then she found the first aid kit on the couch. And she's like, what is this doing here? And Carly's like, oh, yeah, that's right. We were playing doctor earlier and Donna diagnosed me with X, Y, and Z. And I must have forgotten to put that away. That was a very quick excuse.
It was very quick thinking, except for they had already said that Donna spent all day at Sunny's for Thanksgiving. So when did this actually take place? Because
But it was if it was down in the cushions, it could have happened whenever because a pillow was behind and over top of it.
She made it sound like it was just earlier, I felt like. And Donna is smart enough, she's going to call her out and be like, we did not play that, Mom, and I'm not sure what you're covering, okay?
Yeah, that's true. Back to Lulu, though. I think that she got her feelings hurt when she overheard Rocco saying about how much he is mad at Dante right now. And Charlotte's like, yeah, I've never felt that way about my dad.
Yeah.
And I mean, Valentin breaks the law. Dante upholds the law.
Yeah.
So Lulu's probably like, my kids are messed up. Oh, and then Nathan shows up and asks for her phone. And Charlotte's like, no. And Lulu's like, give it to him.
Yeah.
Lulu, you know they need a warrant. Come on.
Right.
And even Charlotte said, do you really think that he's going to contact me on my phone?
Yeah.
Like, hi, Mr. Nathan, you're dumb.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was just totally disappointed with Lulu. She was flying off the handle, crazy. I understand being upset that he is now escaped, but you know he wouldn't hurt your daughter. You know that there is tons of surveillance all over the place. So even if he wanted to take her, he couldn't. And he would realize that and say, like, Charlotte, it's not safe for you to come with me. And your daughter spent more time with him than she has with you because you didn't even know about her the first few years and then you were in a coma for years. Like, I'm sorry, that's just the way it works.
That is Valentin's fault on the first few years. So I will give her that's messed up.
It was his fault, but it wasn't Charlotte's fault. So she can't change how she feels.
Right. And he's good. He's a great dad. And he even said that. Oh, what did he say? Oh, because Carly was like, how do I know that you're like telling the truth or something? And he's like, because it's my daughter.
Yeah.
I forget exactly what it was, but it was, yeah, no. When it comes to Charlotte, there is no games. This is it. No one was leaving her alone. So she couldn't just pass it to Charlotte. And so she had to drop her glove and then reach down to pick it up and then put the key like under the railing.
Right.
And then Charlotte just happens to sit in the chair in front of it and sees the key on the ground and realizes, but we never saw her even say anything. We just saw
No.
her pick it up.
Yeah, she just kind of got a smile like, okay, I know that's from my dad.
Yep. And then at the same time, Nathan and Dante are talking about wondering if Valent or Anna was gone to help Valentin escape.
Right? That was
Like,
crappy of them to say. They
yeah,
should know her better.
yeah.
And then we finally got a glimpse of Anna because we haven't seen her in weeks. Like somebody took her, but we didn't know who, and she was just gone. And so we finally got to see this week that they're keeping her in a pretty nice holding cell. Like,
She is living my dream right now. Comfy clothes on a comfy couch. She doesn't have a blanket, so they should be giving her like a nice soft blanket and maybe some tea. But she's just meditating on the floor, goes over to the couch, gets her journal. They need to give her a couple books. And then she has Frenchmen bringing her dessert. Granted, it's Pascal, but what part of that was not desirable?
yeah, I was wondering if they used the same contractor that Rick did for his panic room for Carly, though, because that was a nice setup. Like, is there just someone in
That's what
Port
I'm
Charles,
saying.
to call? Like, I want a really nice holding cell. Yeah, I need a two-way mirror or a one-way mirror and some nice comfy furniture and cutouts for people to hang out in. But
But
that
what
means
is she writing down? Because she wrote down on the first page, it said, Faith will get you out. And then she folds it down and it says, Faison will get you out. Could
yeah.
Faith will also be involved in this?
Oh my gosh, that would be insane.
How? I don't remember Faith and Cesar having, like,
I
even
don't
being on at the same time.
I don't either. No, not that I can recall.
But how crazy would that be? But so obviously she's being kept at Windermere.
Right. Which
So
is disappointing because we just saw them do a sweep of Windermere because they were looking for Valentin and Marco was like, yeah,
yeah.
sure, go ahead. You can do a whole sweep, whatever. We're going to bed. It's fine. If you have any questions, Pascal's there.
As an attorney, I feel like that's really weird.
Right?
That he was like, yeah, we're just gonna go to bed. And Lucas was like, so I just worked all day. Here's the thing. You would think that Lucas was actually the homeowner. He's like, yeah, I just worked all day. Can we just not do this right now? Oh, so Lucas came to Windermere. Marco had like candles and everything, and it's still Thanksgiving. And Lucas
Yes.
didn't get any food, even though there were two turkeys, or like, was it just no, there was like multiple meals and everything, but I guess there was only two fried turkey incidents at the hospital. So it was actually pretty chill. Because then Chase showed up looking for Valentin. Marco allows them to search the property after only saying like one time, one thing about, I would really rather you not. But then he just lets them go all over the place while they go to bed.
Right. Like we didn't even see Lucas take a bite of his sandwich yet.
No.
He should still be hungry.
Yes.
I thought
Like
that's what
he
he was
should
going
not
to
have fallen
say.
asleep so quickly. He did not get his tryptophan.
Right. That's what I thought he was going to say is I've had a long day. I'm having a snack. We're going to try to go to bed in like the next hour. So can you make this like as quick as possible? And that's whenever they would have said, well, like you just said, it's a big property, but yeah, we'll move things along as quickly as we can. Okay,
Right.
cool. Thanks. And if you have any questions, ask Pascal because we're going to go to bed in an hour. All right.
Right.
But yeah, they just like gave up instantly. Okay. And I'm sorry, if I woke up and my significant other was gone in that big spooky house, I would absolutely be trying to find out where he is and what's going
Yeah.
on. Like you said, we
Especially
were going to
after there
bed.
were police officers there searching it.
Yes, exactly. Did someone come to your room and be like, hey, we need to ask you about this? Or did they
Right.
find something? I want to know. I'm nosy. And Lucas just like rolls over and goes back to sleep. And then we see that Marco's just as bad as his
Talking to
dad.
Pascal.
Like just as bad as his dad, all wrapped up in, oh, Lucas can't find out like what we're really up to because he'll dump me in a minute and I really like him. And so we need to keep all my dad's business out of the house. So
Here's the thing, he
disappointing.
didn't even call his dad.
No, but
So they didn't have a warrant, right?
they didn't have a warrant, but they must have been expecting that that was going to happen because he did say it later on at some point that Pascal had talked. And so that was like where they gave the head nod or whatever that Pascal had
Okay.
already talked to his dad. And his dad was like, yeah, let them search it. I don't care.
Okay. Yeah, still weird.
Yeah, very weird. I
But I guess we're supposed to think about that with the fact that I mean, because Pascal had just left, and I know we're supposed to suspend time and imagination and all that, but he had just left upstairs. And the next scene with Anna was
Mm-hmm.
he was bringing her a whole plate of macarons.
Yep. She is very spoiled. You're correct.
Yeah.
Oh my. But I
Hold it. But remember, Cesar went missing in Windermere once.
think everybody went missing in
That
Windermere
is true.
once.
That is true. But so I'm thinking that I'm right, that it was Sidwell that took her.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to double down that he is related to Cesar.
I like that idea. I really do. And that is the only thing that would kind of even make sense right now because I just don't know what they're doing with Sidwell still. Like,
Yeah.
I watch whole scenes and I'm like, I still don't know anything more about you than I did before I watched this scene. Even this week, he had the deception ladies over and he's gonna import stuff, but it's gonna go to Sunny's Piers and
No, because he told
Mhm.
Sonny he was buying the Piers from
Yes.
him.
Yes, and Brooklyn's like, but that's my uncle's Piers, and he's like, no, we made a deal,
No,
it's
they're
fine.
mine now.
And they just like have this whole conversation, and I know information was obviously exchanged because we learned that he's telling everyone that he's bought the Piers now and all that stuff. But still, at the end of it, I was like, I don't know anything. And Felicia kind of hung back for a second. I thought she was gonna like hear something good that was gonna like open up all this information for me. She
Yeah,
didn't.
no.
She just got her coat and left, looked back at
Yeah.
Lucy like, oh, Lucy likes those bad boys. And
Right.
then her and Brooklyn left Lucy there.
But he only wants to charge the Zincite at cost, right? That was
Right.
the thing. And that's where they're like, and how are you going to do that? He's like, well, we don't have to pay like the port fee and like all that stuff because we're going into Pier. Notice we were not on the sales block.
True. True.
So
Glad
Pier
we have some
55 and
security.
56 are what got sold.
Mm-hmm. I don't
I
know.
don't know.
I need more information, Sidwell.
And he wants them to sign over basically that he can use the name deception for anything blindly, right?
Right.
And Brooklyn's like, what, without us saying so? No,
Yeah. Why would we want to do that? That does not sound like a good business decision. Thanks.
not at all.
I feel like that was it. Like I know again, Sidwell, we saw Laura and Sunny talking more about Sidwell having the
Yeah,
pictures of them and what were they going to do and stuff. But I feel like they just again had the same conversation we already had last week.
right.
What's he going to ask them to do? What are they going to do? How can they do something too bad? I don't know.
Well, and back to the Valentin stuff, Brennan grilled Alexis over the 8 letters that she wrote him and was like, well, I don't know, you could be talking in code. She's like, I told him that Monica died. I told him how Charlotte's doing and some updates on Port Charles and so I thought that I misheard it. So I rewound it, turned on the closed captions. She said, Fred and Nathan are back from the dead.
Oh,
Go back and listen. She didn't say Britt and Nathan. She said Fred and Nathan.
all right. Nope,
I
I
thought
missed
that
that.
I was like,
Hmm.
what? And that's what closed captioning said. So, but yeah, she's just like, dude, get off my case. I don't know anything.
Right, right. And he said it so smugly, like, I know about the letters. And she was like, all right, like, I'm supposed to be impressed, please. Like,
Well, and then that was Chase had come to the station because he had been called away after sneak up on Brooklyn in those sweatpants. That was a good scene too. But he got called into work. And then Brooklyn catches Ned eating pizza in the kitchen, and she tells him that Valentin escaped. And they had a whole conversation over how sorry she felt that she made him think that Bailey Lou was his granddaughter. And he's like, yeah, but I do have a grandson now. And I'm so thankful that he never even brought up that you knew I had and kept from me until now.
right.
Because, I mean, he knows how much this entire thing has hurt her. But I mean, they just really covered a lot of bases in that small conversation because I guess he's definitely not supposed to be having pizza.
Yeah, he just wanted one piece, though. Like, come
I
on.
know.
He can't, like, totally
Listen,
not
I am okay for
live.
a first time offender of having a heart attack, even though it was a big one.
Yeah. And he had his
But
steamed vegetables earlier in the day. It's not like he's only eating the crap.
as long as he only had the one piece and
Yeah.
keeps it to that.
I'm trusting Ned.
And what else? Anything else with all of that? I don't think so. Because then basically everything else was, oh, do we want to talk about the absolutely random diagnosis that Liz received this week?
Okay, so I did just happen to see on some of the different GH pages because we watch on Hulu, I think we're missing commercials. And someone said that there has been random commercials about that diagnosis on during GH and that they believe that they're like one of the sponsors or whatever. So is that what was like linking into the PSA? That would make sense because
But they didn't mention a specific.
they didn't mention a specific, like the name of a medicine.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but I mean, GH does like to educate us. I appreciate their education, but that was just like out of left field. Liz is like, my eyes are so itchy. My eyes are so itchy. And then Felicia's like, I bet the ophthalmologist could see you soon. And then Liz goes away for a few minutes, comes back and is like, oh yeah, I have these like mites on my eyelashes and everyone has them, but this just got out of control and that's why it's so itchy.
You know what I wish she had really actually said? Like something along the fact of like clean your makeup brushes.
Yes, yes. There was other
'Cause I will
people.
be honest, I don't wash them as much as I probably should, but I also don't wear makeup a lot. But that
Mhm.
really doesn't matter because they're still sitting. But so I mean, I am absolutely at risk for like all of that. But
Yes, there were
yeah.
different people in the comment sections that were saying that they thought it was going to loop back to something with deception, that like they had changed something
Oh, the
in the
makeup.
product, and that
Oh,
is, why she was having the irritation. But then they diagnosed it as the mites, and Felicia's like, "Let's go to the pharmacy and get your eye drops,"
I know.
and
Well, that
now
was
it's
the
like
thing. It
done.
seriously felt like an after school special. Like,
Right,
all right, let's go.
right. You had your
I mean, but
checkup.
isn't
Now
it
we're good.
education? It's kind of a gross education that, yeah, guys, sorry, no matter how clean you are, you have tiny little
Ugh,
things crawling all over you at all times.
so gross.
But it's the truth.
I know, but it's so gross. Like I did not need again, I know that somewhere in my brain, but I did not need to be reminded that everyone has some mites on their eyelashes. It's just when there's an overpopulation, then suddenly there's
It
this
affects 25
itchiness.
million Americans.
Right.
Like, it was with that, I was like, what is happening right now? And
So,
then Felicia was like, I was up in your face. Is it contagious?
right, right. It's like, no, it's not. You have nothing to
I
worry
thought it was
about.
going to be pink eye. So did I, Felicia. So did I.
Right? But, Liz had a good point. That's why we shouldn't be Googling our own symptoms. It's because
And she's a nurse, so she should know better.
I would
And
have
she
been
should
like
have
pink
gone at
eye.
the first
Yep.
sign of whatever.
Mm-hmm. So, so odd. Very educational. So odd.
It, it was just right in there. Well, the girl who plays Molly does an eczema commercial. I see that all the time on, it might be Peacock because I have the one that you do get some commercials, but not like a ton of commercials.
hmm
And she has an eczema.
She's done a lot of random stuff. Like I've sent you
Yeah.
other things that have popped up on the internet, so that doesn't surprise me. But yeah, seeing Liz talk about her eyelash mites was definitely something I never envisioned.
I did love, though, the attention to detail. They didn't have her wearing makeup.
Yes.
I did like
Yes.
that. So she at least, you know what? Ah, she doesn't have glasses. I was gonna say that would have been a good. I couldn't even put my contacts in. Like my eyes get
Right.
so itchy.
Yeah.
Listen, if we're gonna get this weird, let's just go the whole way. Yeah, that was a really, really weird one.
Well, and I felt like it was weird at the same time, like just in general, but also happening at the same time that Christina was there for her flu shot because,
Allergy shot. Yep.
or yeah, allergy shot. Liz first mentioned to Christina that her eye was itchy.
Yep.
And so, yeah, she was there for her allergy shot. And then she was talking about how she had to hype herself up for it because she hates shots. And then Molly shows up and is like, here, I'm here to support you because you've come to so many appointments with me. And I'm like, are allergies getting out of control? Everyone needs to be reminded to go get an allergy shot now? Like, what are we
Well,
doing?
she might have bad enough allergies, but we've never heard of it. But she might have bad enough allergies that she needs the shot.
Right. We've never
I
heard
did
of
like at the
it.
end, like after, so Molly told her that she's writing the book and about what it was. And it was so funny because you could see Molly suddenly stopping sharing
hmm
because she's like, oh, shoot, she's going to put together that this is Cody.
Right.
I like them. I know that we typically hate recasts, but I think they did a really good job on those two.
I think I'm okay with it because they were both recast around the same time. I think it would have been harder to adjust to one of the older actresses with the new character and seeing them try to rebuild that sisterhood, but seeing the
That's a good point. Yeah.
two of them relatively within the same time, they've done a good job of
And
just
then even
being
with Sam, like she was rebuilding with two new people at the same time, so it was easier because she was able to shift.
yeah.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good point.
So yeah, it was definitely a cute sister scene. You saw Molly like bump into Christina and she's like, "Ow, that's my shot arm." Like 100% how it would be. So it was
Yep.
cute. It was just, yeah, so much medical stuff in a very like short snippet of the show. I was like, what's going on?
Or are we suddenly going to have an outbreak?
Everybody has eyelash mites. Trying to think whatever else like one-offs.
Oh, Emma told Mac that she heard from Anna, but it was through a voicemail. So there are programs you can use that just go, they don't even ring. They go straight to people's voicemails. So they're probably using that.
Oh, yeah,
So
I
it
didn't
doesn't
even
even
think
show
of
up as a missed
that.
call or anything. Because she didn't say, like, I missed a call from grandma and it went to voicemail. She said, oh, yeah, but it was just a voicemail. And I feel like kids don't turn their phones off,
Right.
but Mac's feeling bad about bouncing back and forth between Port Charles and Boston. And she's like, you need to be doing, because he's like, oh, James and Georgie really count on me. And she's like, you're taking care of their mom. Like that's taking care of them. And they know that. Like they know you're taking care. And that probably is comforting to them because Mac's
Right.
there. And Turner, and this is where we love Mac.
Right.
Turner's like, so do you think Sonny would have had Dalton killed to protect Rocco? He's like, absolutely he would.
Right. Right. There's a lot of
And
hating
even
on
though he's
Sunny.
charming, doesn't mean he's not a killer. And then Turner tells Molly, Sonny's niece,
Right.
that she's been pretending to have Sonny wrapped around, to pretend that she is wrapped around Sonny's finger so that she can take him down, which I'm kind of glad to hear because we do not need another woman getting stupid over Sonny.
I agree. I don't know that I 100% trust her though, but it was funny to see Molly being like, yeah, okay, so Sonny can be very sketchy and do things and stuff like that, but he is a great guy in other ways too. Like,
Right,
he's my uncle, so why don't you remember
right,
that before you continue with this conversation?
right. I do think though she's struggling much like we've seen other ones in the past though with the but I feel like she's also seeing the bad stuff on the side of like Brennan.
Right.
And so she's seeing like the corruptness within her part. And I truly do think that she is really just trying to do the right thing
Mm-hmm.
and wants the law to be followed. And she's in her 40s just now starting to see gray.
Right.
And it's the same thing as like when Hannah.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we do just need to do like an episode on Hannah Scott so everyone knows who the heck we're talking about because we
Right.
have been referencing her a lot lately.
Yeah, but I feel like, yeah, she was falling for Sunny too, even though she kept acting like she wasn't. So
Right.
I I mean, we've seen it with all kinds of women. No one can resist Sunny, so it's not shocking.
She was with Sonny and Taggart on the show and then married Lucky.
Right?
I mean, she did okay.
She did. But we're sticking with the whole like police department story. So after she gets done talking to Molly and she's talking to everybody else and stuff, they've arrested Curtis because they found the footage that shows that he was talking to Miss Wu, so they assume that he was hiring her for something or using her connections or whatever. So then Dante goes back and starts pulling footage to double check if Miss Wu's men were in the neighborhood, and they realized that there is a camera that was like doubled up, so there was another camera that wasn't looked at all, and they go and review that footage, and it turns out I thought it was going to be Trina and Kai, because Trina and Kai had just
Made
been
so much more sense.
right, because Trina and Kai had just been
Oh,
downstairs visiting
yes.
Curtis, and then they were standing outside of the police station for a very long time having a conversation. So I thought whenever he got up and was going to say, can you do me a favor, or however he worded it, that he was going to say, look and see if Kai and Trina are still outside because I have some questions for them. Or are they still down in the jail area with Curtis.
That would have been so good. And then have them be arrested and then have Portia have to come clean.
Yes. I would have appreciated all of that.
Oh, that would have been so much better than you can't see too clearly because of the rain, yet it is the clearest traffic.
Right?
Straight on, straight on.
Dead.
Also, I mean, that traffic camera was following her as it was in front of her car as it was moving.
Right? Exactly. And
Come
so,
on.
and we see it
Say this was her stopped at the stop sign, and for some reason we have a camera on a stop sign, and that's why we have such a clear picture. But I mean, she was driving. No traffic camera is in front of you and moves with you.
No.
On your level. They're all above.
Right. It would be okay that she was looking forward, assuming that it was on the traffic light. She's driving like into it to drive under it. But there was no height there. It was just dead at her face.
You know what would have been good for that, though, is if they had had somebody give them their dash cam.
Yes.
And be like, I just realized that I have footage from the night that Congressman Quartermaine was shot. I was on that street about a half hour afterwards. Here's what I have.
Right.
I'm just trying to do my civic duty.
Yes, that would have been good. But...
Oh, yeah. And then that would have actually explained having the right on level. I mean, still, she would not have been in frame for that long because driving.
Right.
But yeah.
Anything would have been better. But we had seen throughout the week Willow telling anyone who would listen that the charges were being dropped because she met with Alexis to listen to what Alexis was going to say. Drew just stood there and was like, Michael did it, Michael did it, Michael did it. And the whole room was kind of like, can you please stop saying that? Because number one, you have no proof. And number two, we're not trying to accuse Michael. We're just trying to acquit Willow. So shut up. We don't need that extra information that you're adding with absolutely no evidence. And then Willow claimed that she could be on the stand and gave a whole speech with way too much information. And so Alexis and then we're like, yeah, no, you can't be on the stand. You're going to incriminate yourself because you sound like you're doing too much.
With them, like, they really need to understand that Alexis knows her job.
Right?
She knows how the system works. And she's like, but no, they just need to hear me. No, honey, she's straight up telling you if you say a word, you will be found guilty.
Right. Exactly.
You can't do this. And she's told them so many times.
Yep. Drew knows everything. He knows better. He should just be an attorney too, because he's in charge. Yes. And so then Nina shows up and she's like,
and Willow's been practicing, and Alexis was like, what, in a bathroom mirror?
Right. I'm glad that your mirror told you did a good job. But Nina
let Suzanne practice with her as a juror.
Right. And Suzanne was the first one that said, like, no, you're guilty. And so then we see
Alexis brought up Wiley, though, and was like, your adopted son, Wiley. You have no blood relation to him. And like, why they're not realizing that that's going to get brought up in a lot nastier in court.
Right. Drew was like, okay, that's enough. And it was like, no, the prosecution is going to be a lot meaner than Alexis is being, and she has to be able to keep her composure.
They're going to bring up Harmony. They're going to bring up the cult. They're going to bring up all of it.
Exactly. But then in the middle of that, Nina comes in and like doesn't even knock, just walks in Alexis's house and is like, oh my gosh, so they arrested Curtis, so they're going to drop the charges. Everything's going to be fine. And then Willow just runs around town and tells everyone that they're going to drop the charges, so everything will be fine.
And Alexis did tell her that is not what is happening.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, so I haven't gotten a phone call yet, so that doesn't mean anything. And she sneaks onto the Quartermaine property. Chase lets her in. That right there should have sent flags going up from, oh my gosh, she snuck on this property without anyone seeing her. Michael told me he thinks she was doing that.
Right.
But no, he doubles down on, I'm just trying to not keep a woman from her kids because Brooklyn walks in. He did tell her, you know, the judge's order was before Drew was shot. So like, just because that happened doesn't mean this is going away. So you really shouldn't see the kids. And she's like, even if it's just from afar, like just trying to really get him to let her see the kids any which way. But Brooklyn walks in and is like, nope, you're not supposed to be here. And basically tells Willow off. And it was like, cool. So you're done having my husband risk his job for you?
Right? I loved Brooklyn with
That's
her.
why I didn't like that description that I already turned off the TV. I can't remember what it was, but it was like she's caught. And no, she's not. She is like,
No.
nope, I'm not letting you take my husband down with you. No.
Right. And she even says, not only are you here, which is against the court order, but now you're asking him to go against the court order for you to see the kids. Like, how selfish are you? And
Right.
Willow's like, oh, it kind of just hit me now that I'm a jerk. I'm so sorry. Let me leave.
Yeah.
But can you not say anything to Michael? Do me one more favor on top of everything else. And then Brooklyn and Chase are talking about it, and in walks Michael and is
That
like,
was the best.
so my ex-wife was where? She was doing what? And Chase
And then he
says he's
tells them,
not
well, I
getting
need you to
there.
sign affidavit saying that Willow is here. And Chase says, no. An officer,
Yeah,
sorry, honey, that is perjury. Because guess what? He's going to get you brought onto the stand. What is going to look worse than the fact that
right,
you would not, from the get-go?
right. And you know that Michael has the power to do that. Like he's going to have Diane subpoena you. So just sign the paper.
Yep.
Sorry.
Yep.
But I was
But that
happy to
was
see.
after he and Jacinda were,
Yes, that's what I was going to say. I was happy to see him earlier whenever he just needed to take off his shirt in Nina's office because him and Jacinda were having a lovely lunch break together.
because she makes that dress look good. Oh, what a compliment.
Right?
And she's like, no, it's the other way around. He's like, no. I'm
Nope.
like, oh my gosh, swoon. And she said that she's never invited a client back to her apartment, but she doesn't think of him as a client.
Right?
I loved that Nina walked in on them because also that's going to solidify their relationship. So that's kind of going to undo. So anything Nina could possibly say, and I don't think that this was Michael's motive at all, because
Oh
I think
no.
he was just going, well, because when he first walked in, he thought he was just going to find Jacinda. And instead, she's trying on dresses. And he like almost walked out because he walked in on her trying on dresses.
Right.
But,
And she said Nino's not here, so it wasn't a
right.
setup because Nina wasn't even supposed to be in the office.
Right. But well, no, but that's what I'm saying is that like if he had known that she wasn't going to be in the office, that they would have been setting up for Nina to walk in on them at some point.
Right.
But right, like there was no expectation of Nina ever returning, so they almost are having intimate relations. And Nina walks in and freaks out and is like, "Well, I'm telling HR," and he's like, "I already told them about our relationship when we hired her."
Right.
I love how mad people get when people they can't take people down because the other person did the right thing.
Right. Right.
Like, I can't manipulate you because you're ethical. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't take
Sorry.
you down because you followed the rules
Mm-hmm.
and there's no way to get back at you. But she wants her office professionally cleaned. She wants Jacinda to take every single dress to the cleaners. She is holding her phone with a disinfectant wipe.
Right. I would have been like, we weren't over there. Like you walked in as it was getting good, okay? All that doesn't need
He doesn't know
disinfected.
that. And she should have said, listen, I was protecting the dress. She was.
Right. She
She wouldn't
did.
even let Michael touch the zipper.
Right. Right. I would have told her all that and been like, listen, you're really making a big deal out of nothing. We were literally standing here. It's not like you walked in with my butt on your desk, okay?
Great. But Nina then tries to get, I actually do appreciate what Nina is saying to her to some degree. She's saying, if you are serious about getting out of this line of work, distance yourself from Michael. But it was the last part when she was like, he's going to use you and like,
Right. Just
see you out
discard
and
you.
everything.
Which doesn't even make any sense because she herself just pointed out that Jacinda was a sex worker. He's not earning any bonus points with the jury by saying, I'm in a relationship with this woman. He
Right.
is being honest with everyone and saying he's in a relationship and not hiding it. But we all know if you should pick, a perfect person who has followed all the rules, or Jacinda, who has openly been a sex worker, you're gonna pick the perfect person on paper, not Jacinda.
Yeah, but Willow shot someone, might have shot someone,
Allegedly.
allegedly.
Yeah, in the end, I don't think it's gonna matter because Willow's going down for shooting.
But Nina told Jacinda, like, just be very careful how you pursue either way, because at some point you might need a friend. And it was kind of offering to her, like, yeah, don't burn too many bridges here.
Yeah, I appreciated like the overall message. She just, like you said, she didn't need to dig in on Michael because Michael's not using her, so that wasn't appropriate. But then I did feel bad for Nathan because Nathan is there whenever all the information comes out about Willow and that they're releasing Curtis, and he then has to call Nina and be like, "Yeah, so you just got excited, but I need to tell you that this new information came out." And then we
Right.
see Curtis get released and he goes to the hospital to check on Portia, who
Oh,
had
well, hold
been,
on. You just skipped over the entire time that Curtis was behind bars and all the visitors that he had.
I guess I mentioned Trina, but I did not mention Jordan, who Trina was so upset about. But Jordan offered to leave so Trina could stay. And Trina said, "No, we're leaving. So why are
Yeah.
you mad at Jordan?" And
Yeah.
then Drew instantly flew over there as soon as he heard that Curtis had been arrested so that he could taunt him. And I loved Curtis being like, "No, if I go down, you go down." And Drew saying all smugly, "Well, you wouldn't do that because it would mess up your wife." And him being like, "Actually, my
Nope.
marriage is over. So I don't have any
Thank you very
problem.
much.
I have no problem throwing Portia under the bus too. So try me."
It's just crazy. And I loved that Drew was there when Curtis
Yes.
got released.
Right. And Dante
Well,
was like,
because Dante left it up to Turner. So who do you want to pursue? And
right.
I'm sorry, she made the right decision because
Absolutely.
seeing a mobster, alleged mobster, walking out of a business that everyone knows that they had that casino game going on.
Right.
So come on, you have to assume that what that was,
Right.
right? Yeah, because they got busted for that,
They
right?
she was doing the whole poker thing. I don't know that they got busted. She just kept trying to like buy the whole club and he kept refusing. So he
Right.
could just chalk it all up to that. Like Miss Wu stopped by to make me another offer. I didn't want you guys thinking I was getting involved in shady stuff, so I didn't mention it to you, but I told her no like I did the 400 other times that
Right.
she asked.
Right.
So yeah, he had a very easy explanation for why he would have been hanging out with Miss Wu. And like everyone said,
Turner would have been so stupid to be like, oh no, let's stick with the Curtis angle and ignore the extra evidence we have on
right,
Willow.
right. When Willow's whole statement repeatedly was she was nowhere close to Drew's, and in fact, she was right on his same block.
And they literally found the gun in her, not on her, but in her possessions.
Yes.
So,
I don't know. I want Willow to have some flashbacks still. Like I'm really tired that we're not getting any of this yet.
I love that Michael asked Christina to be there as he told Wiley.
Oh, yeah, that was cute.
And then the first thing Wiley asked, so he says, Mommy married Uncle Drew. And he's like, was she pretty? Why
Yeah.
weren't we all there? And I love that Michael he says the truth. He's like, well, remember the judge said
Hmm.
you can't see Mommy, and we go back to court in January, so that's why you couldn't be there. And Wiley was like, is the judge going to tell us to live at Uncle Drew's because we don't like it there?
Right.
And Michael didn't. Well, he did say, and I don't like that. He did say,
Hmm.
don't worry, this is your home.
Right. You don't have to leave here. Those
Yeah.
words you should never say, but he was very comforting. And it was sweet that Christina was like, well, Scout got to see your mommy. And yeah, she said that she looked beautiful. And so they were reassuring.
Yeah. Oh, and Curtis was on the phone with a contractor about converting the office into a baby's room when Nina came in to tell him, oh, hey, by the way, told the police that Portia might have shot Drew.
Right?
And then that's when he got arrested.
Yeah.
And then who was Portia talking to? Oh, Portia came to see. Okay. So Portia told Isaiah that she had to tell Curtis about him, and then kind of spills a little bit to Isaiah about the fact that it's being perceived as if she might have a motive to shoot Drew.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, all I was trying to do is protect my daughter. And then she starts cramping. So
Mm-hmm.
then she gets to the hospital. Well, no, is that when it was? Yeah, that's what caused her to start cramping, right? She was
Well,
with
because
Isaiah?
she was with Isaiah and she said, I have to protect Curtis. I owe him that much for protecting me. And Isaiah was like, I don't think you owe him anything. And it was like,
Yeah.
whatever, Isaiah, you don't even know. Okay.
I thought Isaiah was putting it together when he realized, because he said, oh, yeah, you'll have to tell them that you spent the night with me. And his flashback was of him sleeping and her crawling into bed, surprising him. And that should have been wait, why did you come suddenly in the middle of the night? to surprise me in bed.
Right.
Like you just snuck into my place as I was sleeping and you're like, oh, hi. And he's like, oh, this is a nice surprise. Like that should have been like, wait, why did that happen?
Right.
It's not like he had invited her over and they had a planned event. And I mean, it was very much she came over unexpectedly.
Yeah. He's just not the smartest.
Well, and then so they go to the hospital and Britt's the only person available. And I couldn't tell if Isaiah was being condescending or he actually just didn't know that Britt was a doctor.
I think that he didn't know. I thought he was
Okay.
condescending at first, but then the more that they talked, I was like, oh, okay, wait a second. Maybe he really doesn't realize.
Yeah.
And then Portia was like, just shut up. Like all that matters is I want to be looked at and make sure that I'm not losing this baby. And he's like, you're not what? And then she
Yeah.
has to tell him, oh yeah, by the way, I'm knocked up, not sure if it's yours or Curtis's. And I loved that he asked her, if you would have found out later that it was mine, would you have even told me? And she was like, yeah, I would never make that mistake again.
Again, right there, he needs to be stepping back. Here's the thing. He inherited the cabin from Lucky, and now he has inherited the girl I'm seeing is pregnant, and I'm not sure if it's going to be mine, but she's going to tell me it's mine so that I love it like it's mine, and then whoop, whoop, it's somebody else's.
Yep. But then we see Curtis, when he does get out, go to Portia to make sure that she's okay. That nice awkward
Oh,
moment between him and Isaiah.
Isaiah offered for her to come to you have to say that first, that Isaiah
Oh,
was offering for her because, first of all, she is getting multiple days in the hospital for dehydration.
yeah,
I was dehydrated with my daughter. I got a couple hours.
right.
And she's been busy and has been forgetting to drink water. The doctor.
Hmm.
No, she's drinking her herbal tea, but she's not drinking water.
Yeah.
She won't eat a mushroom. She has a lot going on.
She does. She
No,
does.
girl, they
But
even make apps for that now. Come on.
well, I guess you need to tell her what one to download because she messed it up. But Isaiah
Well,
does
I don't know. I just
offer.
drink water.
Isaiah does offer for her to stay at the cabin and he'll take care of her. I'm not sure how
Yeah,
he's getting off work, but okay. And
great.
then
Well, and what is she going to do? AMA?
right.
They're letting her stay in the hospital. I'm assuming I am giving it that she's the chief of staff, and that's why they're like, you can have a couple days in the hospital for dehydration.
Well, they said she'd be out the next day. So she was there for overnight.
Wasn't she there the night before though?
No,
Okay, so it was just like that one
no,
night.
it
Okay,
was one
either
night.
way, either
Yeah.
way,
No, she definitely got more than a normal person would, but I just mean,
she's not
and
sitting in a hallway.
that's why I feel like if it was Monday and she was like, "Oh, I'm going to be released on Thursday," then he could be like, "Oh, let me switch my schedule around some and then I'll
Right.
spend Thursday through Monday with you or whatever." He's talking about tonight, tomorrow you're getting discharged and I'm going to take off multiple days to take care of you.
Right.
Okay. But then Curtis shows up after getting out of jail, has that awkward interaction with him, and then goes into the room and is like, "Well, why don't you come home for a few days?" And
You missed Trina walking in while
oh,
Isaiah
and she didn't pick up on any of that.
was sitting beside. Well, I mean, Portia was technically not lying with he was giving me treatment options.
Hmm.
And doctors do sit down beside you as they were going over, and he did conveniently have a tablet.
He did, but Trina has seen them together enough times that I feel like she should be putting two and two together. And like I said, the past few weeks, I just can't wait for that information to come
As a
out.
surgeon giving you treatment options on dehydration and pregnancy.
Right, right. And I can't wait for her to be like, yeah, I'm not sure who the dad is, and Trina to just flip out. So,
She even said that I came to check on you and the baby.
right.
And Portia's like, how do you know? And then that's when Curtis came in.
Yes, first Trina explained that she had heard everybody else talking about it at Thanksgiving. And then then she says, Portia says, "Well, I didn't tell your dad. He figured it out." And I thought if she throws Jordan under the bus for that, I
I
am
know.
going to scream. But she didn't. She didn't. She just, when Trina brought up Jordan and said that they were spending a lot of time together, she was like, "I'm not going to say anything about that." But then Curtis shows up
Oh,
and
that was
is
something that Curtis told her while he was still in jail. He's like, I never cheated on your mom.
right. Um, but he offers for her to come home, and Trina's like, I'll come home too and we'll take care of you. And Isaiah's peeking in the doorway and like gives her the, oh, okay, yeah, go ahead and do that. And she's like, okay, I'll go home. And then Curtis even says, after he had just said for her to come home just to recover, he's like, oh, mom's coming home. And I thought, why are you saying it like that? Like, stop it. You guys aren't getting back together. Please don't
Well,
have a come to Jesus moment because you were in jail for a few hours.
And we're still having Trina talk like they raised her.
Right? It's just ridiculous.
It is. It's not even like she's a teenager. Like
Right.
she found out while she was in college.
Right.
So I mean, she was raised without him as her father.
Yeah. And your
You know,
adult children can see the issues in your relationship and understand it enough. Like, I know for me personally, my adult kids are like, no, you're never getting back together with our dad. Like, that would be the worst
right.
thing ever. So, if she isn't understanding, like, maybe the first problem was that your mom hid your paternity from him and then other things followed. Why aren't you getting it, Trina? Come on.
But Isaiah was nice when Curtis arrived at the hospital and did not give any digs because he just asked, he's like, hey, I was told that Portia came in, all this stuff. But then his poor face when he's overhearing, because I think he was registering, because at first when he found out that she was pregnant, he started to think, like he got that little smile, like, oh, I might be a dad. Oh, because she asked him, do you want to be a dad?
Yes. And he said, how about we find out that paternity first?
Right. And good for him. But then after he left the room, you could see the look on his face was, yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Which means the baby's not going to be his.
Right.
Or it's going to be, and then Curtis is still going to raise it because that just makes more sense because she doesn't want to ruin his career or hers. And it's going to, when Curtis was talking to Nina and he's like, so you did everything you could to keep your daughter out of jail to make sure that my baby was born in one.
Yep.
Oh, that was good.
That was good.
Or didn't care about the fact that mine might be born in one, something like that. But I thought that was a good twist.
Yes.
And I think the only thing that's really left is Britt, because she woke up and Jason told her how badly she behaved and that he gave her medication. And she was like, what do you mean? And he's like, well, you weren't able to give yourself your injection. And so like you kind of talked me through it. What was that, by the way? Does it have to do with your Huntington's? And she kind of dodged it and everything. And then at the end of that was at the beginning of the week. And at the end of the week, we see him in her room and she walks in on him and he had been researching the meds. So is it Brick or Spinelli that has been doing the research?
I'm assuming that it's Brick because wasn't it Brick who had the connection for Sunny to have the heart surgery in California?
Yes,
So
it was. Yeah.
I'm thinking that it's the same person because she was like, just because they're in the WSB doesn't mean I trust them. And he was like, I'm not talking about the WSB. I'm talking about someone you can actually trust.
Right.
So, yeah.
Then he's like, there's no known. I mean, the look on his face the entire time because he was so concerned because he's like, I know this has to do with the 5 poppies. I'm assuming Dalton's involved in this because you have a key fob to his lab. He's like, they can't find any research that is being done, like even off market.
Right.
And these people would find it and they're not finding it. And he's like, I'm so worried that like, if you don't get this, like your stuff's going to come back. He's like, remember, I was with you when you got your diagnosis. I understand you didn't want your mom to watch you suffer,
And he points out the fact that these can't be the standard meds because the standard meds just mask certain symptoms.
Yes.
And it's like she's completely recovered. So this is obviously a different potency. And it was like she was playing dumb because he kept explaining, I want them to be able to like reverse look up what this is and be able to make it. And she's like, no one will be able to do that. No one will be able to make another version of it.
I just had a crazy thought.
But
okay, Faison's dead, but they are using the good parts of his brain as treatment. They're extracting they're extracting like the healthy parts of his brain. Like they're extracting something out of the healthy parts of his brain.
Okay.
To counteract the stuff that's going to be going wrong.
Okay.
And so that's why they won't be able to find it. They won't be able to find out what's in it. Like they won't be able to reverse engineer it because
they don't have a brain. Okay.
But that's it.
I think your theory is crazy, but I like your crazy. So
It's so crazy, but also that is how medicine works sometimes. I mean,
true.
Erica has to go get parts of her cartilage extracted so they can grow some for her.
So ugh.
Yep. So
So
what if they are using Cesar's brain?
maybe. I don't
Or,
know.
or Peter didn't have the gene. They're using Peter's brain, and Peter's brain healed Faison, and so now they're healing Britt
Okay.
because Peter didn't have the gene, right? He got the test done and he didn't have the gene.
Right.
And neither did Nathan. Or did Nathan? No,
I
Nathan
can't remember.
didn't. I don't think he did because Maxie was worried about it on both for both kids.
Oh, right. Okay.
I'm going with somebody's brain is being
Somebody's
used to heal other people's brains.
okay.
Wouldn't that be crazy if Cesar Faison saves the world?
Well, that would be insane.
Because then they're just going to have to, and I would imagine that they'd be able to do it where they can just duplicate the good parts of him that are. Oh, that was the other thing that Anna was having the flashback of. If anyone could successfully tell us that he was dead.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so let's go with Peter. And then he saved Faison. Well, he
Okay.
didn't, but other people
Right.
did. But how could they have known? Like, what did they do? Just pull a Stavros and keep Cesar on ice until one of his kids died?
I mean, maybe.
Oh no, Faison killed Nathan. Never mind. I was gonna say, what if they just did that and we're just like waiting, but Cesar's who shot Nathan.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that that's going to be why they can't reverse engineer it.
All right. I can't wait to see how they
I
explain
cannot
it.
wait for this one. If
They
it is
start,
not that,
they start talking brains and you're like, man, Shannon was right there with it. I did not see this coming.
well, it was funny because we finally watched the 4 episodes of Stranger Things, and I was like, so soap operas tell me, and then I gave my theory. I
Yeah.
was like, if this was General Hospital, this is how this would be done.
I'm sure thinking the same stuff because we watched it also this week.
Yep. Yeah, but I think that that's it. So, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I can't think of. I mean, there was like the little conversation between Alexis and Christina that was nice, them talking, but then them also realizing that Drew is not going to be nice if Willow is let off. But by the end of the week, we knew that that wasn't going to happen. So I don't feel like it was really significant.
Yeah.
Reality check.
So what'd you do this week?
I didn't really do anything fun. I got some Christmas shopping done, so that was productive because I needed to do that. And then, just random. Remember a few years ago, I know you'll remember, hopefully our listeners will too, but a few years ago, I'd mentioned the Christmas book, the Thingamajig Christmas that my
Yes, you
family
read
loves.
it to us. No, Madeline read it to us.
Did we release that? I didn't think we released that because you
I
weren't
think
sure if we
we
were allowed.
did. I think we did.
I didn't think that you did
You
because
keep
you were
talking, I'll look
concerned.
it up. You keep talking, I'll look it up.
You have a recording, which I need to get that from you, but I don't know that we ever released it because we were concerned about if there was a way to get in trouble.
Copywriting.
Yeah, but then we pointed out the fact that like celebrities read books all the time. If you give the rights, like say whose book it was, I don't know why that would be an issue. But anyway, when
That was a different computer. Okay, we will find it.
Okay. Anyway, so whenever we talked about the book, I was excited because I'd found a used copy of it on Thrift Books and I couldn't find it anywhere else. So yesterday, Madeline and I were reciting it more than reading it like we do now that she knows it off by heart. And she went on eBay. There's like 10 copies on eBay and it's for like $90. So apparently there's all kind of people who have suddenly realized this book is awesome and they would like to own it. So if you're looking for a copy, it is overpriced. I'd check Thrift Books first. But if not, eBay, A Thingamajig's Christmas, best book ever. We were telling Matt's girlfriend about it a few weeks ago so that she knows that this book will continuously be read to her children. And I need to get multiple copies to pass on to all my kids because it's the cutest book ever.
It's on Amazon for $58 hardcover.
Oh, wow. I'm impressed that it's on Amazon even.
It's used, but
yeah. Yeah, Thrift Books was way cheaper, but again, that was a few years ago. And it's also called Santa Visits the Thingamajigs. Like it mustn't have sold under the one title, so they retitled it and sold it. Or maybe maybe like in different countries or something, but it's the same story no matter how it's titled. Because there's a soft cover soft cover book on eBay for like $18 and it's the same story.
Santa Claus Visits the Thingamajigs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is exactly the same cover.
Yep.
except
Same
for it's
story.
green.
Yep,
It's green.
it's the same story. And I have that I also bought at Thrift Books at the time, a like a baby, the hard cardboard books that you can give to babies so they can chew on
Yes.
them. That copy of it, so that if I ever do have grandchildren, they can chew on the thingamajig book. But anyway, everyone will just be like, Amanda is
Not
such a
for
dork.
eating.
But it's the cute. Well, little babies chew on books. That's why they make the hard cardboard.
Well,
Your kids didn't chew on books ever?
no.
Oh, okay. Like
They had like the soft books, like the baby, like the soft.
yeah, but like the toddler hard cardboard books.
Yeah,
They
like the
never
golden
chewed
books and stuff.
No,
No.
golden books was still the paper was still thin.
No, but like the card,
The
like the,
cardboard like flippy books. Yeah.
yeah, they didn't eat books. Sorry.
Okay. I mean, I do. It wasn't like I was like, oh, you want a snack? Here's a book. But they like to look at the pictures, and then babies put stuff in their mouth, so they would put the books in their mouth. So the
Yeah,
corners
but
would
like
be
they
like,
didn't suck
okay.
pacifiers really.
Oh.
Like I didn't either. I spit mine out and my mom never gave it to me again.
Oh, all right. Wait, I don't
And
know.
yep. No, my son used one for a little while, but it was just kind of I didn't give it to him and
Okay.
he didn't want it. Like I don't remember ever having to wean either of them off of a pacifier because I think it just kind of stopped.
Yeah, mine used it for longer than that, but they stopped eventually. But yeah, with the books, they would just be like looking at the pictures and then it would
Yeah.
end up in their mouth. And, okay, don't chew on that. But yeah, that's the whole reason that it's made out of the thicker cardboard. But anyway, all that to say, my favorite book is available on eBay and Amazon, apparently, and everyone in the world should own it.
There's also the Christmas thingamajig at Walmart.
Yeah, not the same.
Not the same.
Nope.
No, it's not.
Mm-mm. No, there was
So do
also a
not be
couple. Yeah, don't be fooled by that one. It's not that one. And there's a couple other books, like they must have been trying to franchise it, kind of like the Bernstein Bears or whatever. Because there was another book that I bought at that same time off Thrift Books that came with cassette tape that it would read the story to you. And it
Oh,
was
did it
like,
make a ding sound to turn the page?
I don't know, because I actually never listened to it, but it was like a different story about the thingamajigs. But I'm guessing it just never caught on because I never saw any other ones.
I missed those books.
So
When
they
you
were
hear
very
the
cool.
tone, turn the page. So I used it as a hashtag in our very first Christmas, December 23rd,
Aw.
2019.
Okay.
So if you want to go listen to that one,
You
see
can
if
hear
it's
me.
in there.
You can hear me go on and on about it the same way I just did now. But no, I think we recorded Madeline, but we didn't release it because that was whenever we were still like way newer and scared. But
Well, yeah.
I should should have her re-release it and then or re-record it and then we can release both copies.
Yeah, that was two computers ago. So let me see what I can do about finding that hard or
The file, yeah. Okay.
yeah, the raw footage. That's the word I'm looking for.
There you go.
I'm sure I have it on a hard drive somewhere.
Somewhere. Yeah.
Yep.
So how about you? What did you find exciting this week or do?
Um, Actually a couple things. So it was like volunteer week, I guess. My son doesn't work Wednesday and Thursday for the rest of the month, like for basically all of December. He worked last Wednesday and Thursday, but then he's not working this week, next week, and then obviously Christmas and New Year's.
Mhm.
And then after that, he'll go back to 5 days a week. But every year, I think I've talked about it before. Every year, my Thursday morning meeting meets at the mall, like the first or second week in December. And our meeting is just wrapping gifts there's an organization that was started by a former police officer to give gifts to certain neighborhoods. And unfortunately, he did pass away a few years ago, but we still, do it in his honor and everything. And I'm so thankful that it kept going after he passed.
That is sweet.
Yeah, thankfully he was sick. So
Okay.
I think that there was like a transition period of we're going to need this to be taken over. He was also older. I feel like that there was the ability to have that transition in place, that it wasn't just he's passed, what do we do?
Mm-hmm.
So we still do it. And so this Thursday, my son came with me, and it's the first year that my daughter's been with me for networking. And so she was already planning on coming, but my son was able to come too. And so that was nice. So people have met him before because we have like a evening picnic once a year. So like they've met him. Some of the people have met him there, but they're like, oh yeah, both of your kids are here. That's great. And they're wondering where JD was. So we're going to have to get him there next year. And then So that was Thursday morning. And then Thursday night. So our mall is being taken down in 2027. And
Yeah.
guys, Minerva Mall actually is historical. Like it's been in movies. It really is a big deal that this is happening.
Yeah.
But so they had what's called a jingle crawl, and it was only between three businesses, but they had at the first one, they had like specialty cocktails, wine, beer, music, a chocolate fountain, and it's like a chocolate place. So that's what their theme was. And then you go to the next place and you bought like a ticket, but then you got like a signature cocktail there. And that one was yummy. And I can't remember the name of it. She said something Yuletide, but it was blackberry puree with cranberry juice, ginger beer, and Kettle One vodka with, I think she put an elderberry in there too, but then a garnish of mint and lime. Oh my gosh, so good.
Did you get to
And
have multiple then? Because
no,
your kids don't really drink.
they don't. I mean, I could have had theirs, but
Oh,
they got sodas. Well, so my son went up to college because it was the video game awards. So he went up
oh, that's
to
cute.
drive up to hang out with his buddies and then came home. So it was just me, JD, Erica, and our daughter. And she had soda. She got a milkshake. So like she got a milkshake at the first place with the chocolate and everything. At the second place, she got a soda. And then the third place we went to is a 24/7 pickleball court that's indoor. It's 24/7.
I did not know it was
Yeah.
24/7.
Oh, they explained this whole thing to me. It is so secure because that was my first thought. I was like, okay, you have three courts here and they don't have employees. Like it's not staffed. And so I'm like, okay, so even at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I don't know who else is going to be here with me. And they're like, there are cameras all over the place. There's an active security system looking. If you are playing on the wrong court, they will tell you. If you are doing something against, like behaving in a way that's like against the rules or whatever, like they
Oh,
chime
that's
in and are
awesome.
like get off the net, stuff like that. So like, it is
Yeah.
definitely very, very well secured. And I've never played pickleball. So they were like, well, why don't you just come give it a try? And so that was fun. But they had a local brewery was there and they had like hot pretzels and my daughter. So the first business is in the business of employing people with disabilities. But my daughter didn't want to work in food service, which is fine. She has tried it and just doesn't want to do it. We actually knew them through like they did like employment education programs and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a young lady that was also there, but she was by herself. And then she overheard my daughter talking about animals. And so she chimed in. And then now we have phone numbers and like they just sat there and talked about animals and Studio Ghibli and all that stuff. So that was nice. And then today, Friday, I also organized those Ronald McDonald House serving projects in Providence, Oklahoma City, and Pittsburgh. And today was the last three, one in each market was the last day. We did all of them today. And today was mine. And so
Oh,
my daughter
nice.
came with me and it was like 20 something degrees today. So we made it, we would have been making it even if it was 80, but it was chili, mac and cheese, brownies, cornbread, and salad for the families. So
Nice.
I like this time of year because it gets so charity focused. But I'm like,
Yeah.
can we just do this all year? And that's what I told the guy. I was like, hey, how about we do Jingle in July? And I
Oh,
bet
that
a
would be
lot more people would
cute.
come out because it would be
Right.
warmer. You could get like outside performers, stuff
Mhm.
like that. And he just like looked at me and he's like, uh-huh. Like the real, yeah, that's a good idea. Okay. So
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah, I have a feeling that could happen. I might volunteer to lend my services to that, but I'm a fan of if you're going to give a suggestion, you better be willing to put in the time to make it happen.
Right.
Unless you straight up say ahead of time, by the way, I have zero clue how to do this, but I think it'd be a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just don't expect somebody else to do something
Right.
just because you said it. Yeah. It was a pretty darn good week.
Good.
Yeah. But this Thursday's not going to be a good week because we're going to be talking about the end of Bobby.
I'm sorry. It has to come to an end eventually. We still, there's a lot that it's going to build up to it still. Like, we'll talk about the diabetes story and that stuff as we reflected this week on them bringing real life issues
Yes.
into the storylines and stuff. I just don't know that there's going to be enough to make it 2 more episodes.
Okay.
So,
all right. Well, join us on Thursday as we possibly finish talking about Bobby, part 15.
have a good week.
And we'll meet at the pier.
Bye.
Bye.
If you enjoyed today's show, we invite you to go to pier54podcast.com to subscribe on your favorite platform. Don't forget to leave us a review.
And you can also follow us on many social media channels. Just search for Pier 54 Podcast. Also, we are not perfect, so if there is something that we missed or messed up,
just let us know by emailing us at peer54podcast@gmail.com.